for Legislative Affairs in the Obama White House. Joel, good morning. Wonderful to see you.
Good morning, Kasie.
So let's talk about the very latest here, because even as people were going to sleep on the East Coast last night, it was unclear whether the Israelis were going to be moving forward with this cabinet vote. Now we know, 5 a.m. here on the East Coast, noon over there, that is the plan, that he is saying this is what he wants to do. What's changed, and are you confident this is going to move forward quickly?
Well, thankfully, we have a deal. You're right. It's going to go to Security Cabinet in Israel, and then it'll go to the full cabinet and move forward. Frankly, the delay in many ways was a Netanyahu gambit. I think, frankly, he wanted to show his right flank that he was holding out for as long as he possibly could, because he does have a rebellion amongst the right. In fact, the far-right party, Itamar Ben-Gvir's party, threatened to leave the coalition, but that won't collapse the government. So it's going to go forward. Unfortunately, it looks like the release of the hostages may be delayed by a day as well, to Monday, for this to really go into effect. But it's solid now, and it's going to go forward.
Well, was there anything behind the scenes that suggests that perhaps Monday was always the hoped-for day, considering President Trump will be inaugurated by mid-afternoon? Yeah,
Kasie, this is clearly tied up in American politics, and I have to say, when President-elect Trump says that he did it, he has it in reverse. Quite frankly, this has been the Biden plan since May. And what President-elect Trump did throughout the past half year was ignore it, push back on it, and his allies mocked it. Now, finally, Donald Trump signed up to this agreement, this deal, this structure, and supported the Biden approach. And so now we see it coming together, and that's American politics driving this. And so I think Prime Minister Netanyahu is quite aware of that. And by having it going forward on Monday, clearly he's giving Donald Trump a gift. He's also doing it in a way where it still coincides with President Biden's term.
There was some analysis I was reading out of Israel around why this is able to happen the way it is right now, because obviously Netanyahu has been concerned about the collapse of his governing coalition, right, of losing power, and that there may be some suggestion that part of why the right is willing to go along with this now is because they hope to get more from Donald Trump in the long run, and they don't want to anger him right now. Is there truth to that?
Yeah, I think there was a positioning and a sort of a questioning about what they could get from Donald Trump when he becomes president. And I do believe that the fact that the Trump team closed that gap with Biden and said there's no daylight between our view on this ceasefire and President Biden's, that made them realize they had no room to hide, frankly. But yeah, this is just phase one, and it's going to be now implemented by Donald Trump's team. And we'll see how much pressure they actually put on Israel to try to continue the ceasefire negotiations to a further fuller ceasefire. That really is going to be up to Trump and his team. And frankly, they don't have a full team on board either at state. It's going to be completely new negotiators. And so I think that you're always going to see the prime minister's team pushing that edge to see how much more delay they can have.
Joel, we understand that in this batch of release, there will be, of course, this release of hostages. Some of them will be remains. There still are likely to be at least one American held in Gaza in the wake of this. But what is the hope for them?
Kasie, the expectation is 33 will be let out in the first 6 weeks. That still means that there will be 60, 63, 65 more individuals and remains of individuals in Gaza. And so that is, it's the darkness of this whole horrible conflict, that is the leverage that continues to maintain a negotiation to get them all out. So that will be on the Trump team, that will be on the prime minister, and that will be on Hamas and all of our allies in the region to keep these negotiations going, to ultimately get all of the hostages out and end the war and give relief to the Palestinian people.
All right. Joel Rubin for us this morning. Joel, very grateful
Thanks,
for your
Kasie.
time. Thanks for being here. Have a good weekend. All right. Straight ahead here on CNN This Morning.